Hey guys, let's have a look at what the three biggest trailers of the month had held up in their vastly spaced stores for all of us. The video here is tagged with some spoiler-rich content, so be warned. The month of March had us witnessing three big trailers being unveiled within the 31-day time period, with the first one being that of Disclosure Day, that marks the return of unarguably the greatest director of all time as he heads a new sci-fi venture after the semi-autobiographical ride of the Fabelmans. The latter of the two films was pretty much a partial and a loosely adapted self-compilation of his early life and his enthusiastic beginnings as a filmmaker. The next trailer that we witnessed was that of the highly awaited and the third installment of the Dune franchise named Dune Part 3. The film will probably bring the curtains down on Paul Atreides' epic journey as the leading force of the Dune franchise that has been directed by Denis Villeneuve so far. The film is all set to yet again take us onto the director Denis's highly dramatic yet a darkly toned tale of desert and power. The final trailer of the month came in the form of Spider-Man Brand New Day, wherein the film marks the hugely awaited progression of the highly suspenseful fate of Peter Parker post his self-sacrificing heroics in No Way Home. Peter Parker's noble-hearted reclusion has resulted in a more groundly oriented and a street-saving savior who is more prone to being a friendly neighborhood than a tech-savvy sidekick. The first of the three trailers begins with a highly pulsed yet a domestic probing that initiates itself with the inquiry about the property that was subjected to theft, to which a simple and a straightforward remark is put forth, post which the scene cuts onto the highly systemized seeming network that had presumably handed forth the highly sensitive data to the character in the spotlight here for its unfailing protection. The second of the three-tier thread here begins with a magically melodious humming, wherein the poetically projected and the darkly subdued visuals of the trailer's very onset transitions to the wildly sheeted stream of a distinctive desert. The trailer here jumps back and forth through the realms of promise and presumably position when the two blooming birds, who are inseparable and unterrible within the deep depths of their passionate bond, when the two are quite rightfully settling upon the names of their eagerly awaited offsprings. The decision on the little one's futuristic and worldly references is put to rest when the names are being privately tied and pledged to Paul's ancestral as well as Charnie's very own three-dimensional being. Their collectively arrived conclusion is made in light of their deep-rooted aspiration of the philosophical and inspirational passing of their and their lineages' innate traits to their next-in-line set of heredity inheritors. The very last of the trailer trend concludes with the very first glimpses of the much-awaited and the next outing of Tom Holland's Spider-Man, when Peter Parker, now far away from his familiar roots of a team game and his lady love, is still obsessing about the distant and the bygone chapters of his life. The central character here seems to have scrawled to settle upon presumably the times that have transpired within the quite happening and the highly blooming lives of two of his tallest pillars. Soul-struck and stone-faced, he goes into a more dutiful, yet somewhere a hollow mode of a more slashy swinging Spider-Man. Now the first trailer here for me served as a more intriguing yet an immersive ride of an outworldly turbulence, when the trailer quite engagingly and distinguishedly leads us onto the journey of jeopardies that ultimately drenches us in a state of that unconscious clenching. On the other hand, the second big trailer of the month here quite power-packagedly prepares us for what is fingers crossedly to be an epic conclusion of Denis Villeneuve's visionary saga, along with probably that of Timothée Chalamet's final appearance within this path-breaking political fantasy. The trailer's dismantling and a dominant music, its viscerally visualized aura, and an adrenaline-pumping chills spectacularly gaze us up for what this forthcoming finale has held up in its highly stacked-looking sleeves for all of us. The third and the final big trailer here also serves as a brief coverage of a more darkly themed dose and draft within this highly extensive year, which is highly likewise and reminiscent to the mood and the tone of the two films mentioned in this video. The final mention of our list here breaks for the regime and norms of its already traveled colonies from its previous outings, when it looks to be a more earthly and a street-swinging superhero film, whereas the other two films of this video also serve as a more intense and a drastic tools of a tense and a thrilling tide. The trailer for Spider-Man terrifically lays for the highly desired longing of Peter Parker to re-establish and reinstate himself within the subconscious and eternally Peter Parker omitted memories of his long-lost buds. His deeply moving and quite understandable lurkings and a long-failed attempt seems to only solidify his intent on winning back what is and will always be rightfully his. The blockbuster inclusion of Bruce Banner here and a highly looking forward to feeling verbal and physical disputes along with that highly compelling looking clashes, all of which quite wholesomely prepares us for this very next sensation of spider tingles and outlasting the opposings. The story of the first film that I mentioned in this video, Disclosure Day, centers on the global upheaval triggered by the undeniable proof that humanity is not alone. A cybersecurity administrator decides to bypass government secrecy to give full disclosure to all 7 billion people on Earth simultaneously. Strange events begin manifesting globally. Animals, particularly deer and cardinals, exhibit hive mind or erratic behavior, suggesting a non human intelligence communicating through nature. In a chilling sequence, a TV where the reporter is overtaken by an unknown force live on air, her speech replaced by rhythmic, otherworldly clicking sounds. The film explores the psychological and societal shift, moving from curiosity to a global crisis of faith and fear as the truth is forced into the light. The second film that I talked about in this video, Dune Part 3, when the film is set to open on the same day as Marvel's Avengers Doomsday, a box office clash already dubbed Doomsday by fans. Unlike the novel's 12-year gap, the film officially takes place 17 years after the events of Part 2. Director Denis Villeneuve has described the finale as a tense, more muscular, action-packed thriller, moving away from the contemplative nature of the first film. In the film, Paul Atreides now rules as the Galactic Emperor, but his holy war has claimed billions of lives. He must navigate a complex conspiracy involving the Bene Gesserit and the Spacing Guild while struggling to save his soul from the very destiny he once spared. The third film of our video, Spider-Man Brand New Day, showcases Peter Parker, who has completely erased himself from the lives of his loved ones. Footage shows him watching MJ and Ned from a distance as they live happy lives without him. MJ is even seen sharing a romantic moment with a new partner. A central hook of the film is Peter's terrifying physical evolution. The trailer depicts Peter waking up trapped inside a massive web cocoon, implying his powers are mutating. A voiceover warns that spiders have 3 life cycles, and the transition between them leaves the host vulnerable. Unlike previous films, Peter appears to be developing organic webbing and other insect-like traits, a shift that Bruce Banner, now a professor at Empire State University, describes as enormously dangerous in the trailer. Now, all these 3 films, whose respective trailers were unveiled in this very month of March, serve as one of the highly anticipated and the much awaited releases of the year 2026, when they are much expectedly and all ready to take us onto a gripping and a highly nail-biting ride of those jaw-dropping visuals and an unforgettable experience of a striking storytelling. A treat that is secured from the trio that volumed out a high-octane beat. Hey guys, if you like my video, you can click on the like and share button, and you can also subscribe to my channel so that you don't miss up on these types of videos. Let's come together and celebrate the magic of movies.